Namaskar. Today, we have gathered here for a very important noble cause, and I must tell you that it becomes more relevant and important because the matter pertains to women empowerment, women safety, women dignity, and gender equality. The notion has its own dimensions, and that is why the government of UP started with an initiative called Mission Shakti. In that context, let me tell you this fact that our university, University of Lucknow, under the august and charismatic leadership of our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Alok Kumar Rai sir, had started this initiative from first phase, second phase, and now this is third phase. I am delighted here that we have with us today our convener of Mission Shakti, Professor Madhurima Lal ma'am. She's an energy behind it. Dr. Shankar Dayal Sharma, Institute of Democracy, and Dr. Girilal Gupta, Institute of Public Health, cordially invites everyone on a very important discussion on sexual harassment of women at workplace. We have with us a very distinguished guest today from a very prestigious institution, an institute of eminence from the Government of India, the National Law University, Delhi. We have with us Dr. Premchand. He is an assistant professor of law and an executive director, Center for Law and Urban Development, National Law University, Delhi. Dr. Premchand is an instrumental factor behind this particular center under the aegis of Ministry of Urban Development, Government of India and HUDCO. Dr. Premchand has authored 3 books, around 20 articles in national and international journals, and he is the first man to start deliberation on urban development and law in India with his specific center. It's a first center of its own kind. We are really delighted today, sir, that you have given your precious time for this very, very important discourse. And let me tell you one more thing, that Dr. Premchand is also a member of the ICC of National Law University in Delhi, Internal Complaint Committee. So he's the best man to speak on this particular aspect because he do have a very important experience in this regard. I think it is very important at this point of time that my co-host and the most important energy, she's been the one. Without her, I don't think it is possible. We have done this Mission Shakti program. I think this is third time we are doing it, and it is all because of ma'am, her leadership, her support, her guidance. Professor Shaili Malik, ma'am, the coordinator of Dr. Girilal Gupta, Institute of Public Health. We are really very delighted today that this discourse becomes a very, very important notion of the day. Without wasting much more time, I must invite, first of all, our convener, Professor Madhurima Lal ma'am, to start deliberation so that we can start the discourse. Madhurima ma'am, please.
Thank you, Dr. Chacher, and a great honor to be here again. In the morning, we had a very good discussion. And now with our new speaker, it is on behalf of Mission Shakti, I very cordially invite him and express my gratitude for being here and giving his precious time. I'm also grateful to Malik madam and Chachar sir for being so energetically organizing and making the Mission Shakti series, giving it a banner of a great success. This is all because of you all. And today's topic, as we are going to learn so much on the sexual harassment of women force in the workplace, is one of the gravest and the most. It is something that really attracts our attention, and it's something which needs to be handled in the right and appropriate manner. We have been conducting series focusing on the health issues, focusing on the security issues. We have been in during these series we have been focusing on the self sustainability, self reliability, and rest of the issues. We have been doing that. Even the historical things have been taken up, but I feel that these series can only be useful when these complicated, these sensitive issues are really nicely addressed. And what more can be done when we have the experts from the legal field, we have experts from the very appropriate background, who could really come up and tell our students that how they will be facing, or if they have faced, and how they can come out of that, and then how they can save themselves. These are issues which need really to be addressed. I need not elaborate on things that we generally use to say that, of course, the female is something, the women folk is, of course, on the priority sex, on their surface. And then, of course, we are privileged and all that. Because today we are going to have a discussion on a very, very important thing, which is, I feel like it is happening at one and all the places. And for that, I need to protect my students. And for that, what the focus of our audience, the focus audience today is our educated student, the girl students. So they need to be shielded, they need to be given right direction. And I'm so grateful to Chachar sir and Malik madam to have very meticulously planned today's experts. And right now that we are having, and we are going to learn a lot on that. We welcome you once again, sir. And as you know that the series is being conducted as the motive of the UP government, the Chief Minister's idea. And in a series, we are conducting it in Lucknow University under the auspices of our dynamic Vice Chancellor, Professor Alok Kumar Rai ji. Today is the turn of these two lovely institutes, and we would love to hear you, and we love to learn a lot about. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Now I think without wasting much more time, I think now it becomes very important. As ma'am already said, we are all eagerly waiting for Dr. Premchand to start his discourse because it is a very important matter. Now the time has come. I think I welcome Dr. Premchand sir. Please kindly address. Thank you.
तो सबको पहले तो नमस्कार और इसके साथ I want to give you the constellations where we are celebrating the 75th Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, and also congratulate to my colleagues, my friends, those who are in Lucknow University, those who are celebrating 100 years of its establishment, and much more important, where government is talking about Mission Shakti program.
आवाज तो इसकी भी
Mission
बहुत कम
Shakti,
है
where
है ना?
we are
पता नहीं
talking
कैसे मेरे
about,
फोन में ही प्रॉब्लम
we
है,
are
मेरे सिस्टम से
deliberating
कुछ आवाज की
particularly with the girl child, girl students, and the women in the society. Now, in this
मैक्सिमम है ये
regard,
देखो
I want to convey my thanks to Professor Alok Kumar Rai, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Lucknow University, Professor Madhurima Lal, who is the convener of Mission Shakti program in state of UP government, which has started and commenced. This is third phase. Professor Varun Chachar, one of my friend, one of my mentor. I learned a lot from this gentleman. This guy is very energetic, and whose coordinator, Dr. Sankal Jar Sharma, Institute of Democracy, Dr. Sally Malik, coordinator, Dr. Girilal Gupta, Institute of
थैंक यू सर.
Public Health and Public Affairs. Now, with these words, today we are going to deliberate very important and very pertinent topic. This is not a topic, but this is the real life stories. Sometimes uh, some incidents happens to the girl child, to the student, to the women co-worker, and they found themselves where to go, what to do. They are in shock. No one is there who can help them out. And in those cases, it's the duty of our legal fraternity, not only of the in relation to the girl students or so on,
With
but
the
society at large. We should discuss, we should convey, we
वो
should
actually आवाज
come
बहुत आ रही
out with the laws, with
है
the
मोबाइल इज
those protections available, with these women, these students who are harassed by
मैं
their
लैब में छोड़
opponent. And I believe you are able to see my
चलेगा
slides. Sexual harassment of women at workplace, prevention, prohibition, and redressal act 2013. And in the meantime, I also discuss the regulations issued by the UGC in relation to stop, to be the zero tolerant on sexual harassment at higher educational institutions or school level as well as. Now, this is the way where we come together, and we found that women is privileged, no doubt. It's privileged. Since Matra Shakti, Behan, Beti, पुत्र वधु, पत्नी, कितने रूपों में आप उनको देखें. But the point here is whether all these positions are sacrosanct, whether these positions are followed by everywhere, whether they are as where we are in India, and particularly yatra narestu pujante ramante tatra devta. We believe in such kind of philosophy. But ultimately, when we see the real picture of the ground reality of India, or the institutions, or the households, or the villages, or the cities, now we came to know, and we knew that each and every day there are instances of harassment, instances of rape, instances of you know other crimes against the women. And in this regard, in 1979, United Nations General Assembly has adopted, or the convention was there. This was a convention of on elimination of all forms of discrimination, and here is right, discrimination against women in international forum. And in the same way, government of India also has adopted it. India was a signatory of this, and this International Bill of Rights for Women, it has been instituted on 3rd of September 1981. And where 189 countries, states were there, and India is one of them. And 25th of June 1993, India became the signatory of this bill of rights for women. And Article 11 of this Bill of Rights for Women, it provides the state shall take appropriate measures to eliminate discrimination against women in the field of employment, in particular employment of any nature. It's not necessary that there shall be a regular we can also protect under these regulations, these statutes 2013, even the our maid, the house assistants. So in this case, government of UP has commenced, and this is third phase, Mission Shakti, Nari Suraksha, Nari Samman, Nari Swavlamban. So all these three factors, where we are talking about security, we are talking about dignity, we are talking about the independency and the confidence, and that level. So where every aspect shall be taken care, and the government of UP has announced and started, deliberated, the new schools, new classrooms has been uh, instituted and started and constructed under this mission Shakti by the government of UP. So this is further our constitution is very clear about there are rights, there are duties as well. But particularly when we talks about the fundamental rights of Indian citizens, and particularly when we talks about the women's right, because these rights, these fundamental rights are available to every person irrespective of caste, creed, gender, sex, or whatever, reason, religion, whatever. So this doctrine of equality prescribed or provided by the Indian Constitution under Article 14, 15, 17 of Indian Constitution, and 21 also recognize very simple and clear law. It's there are few words in Article 21, and it has a very wide connotation, very wide meaning. Where this is, you can say this is an umbrella term, umbrella article for fundamental rights, where this doesn't mean right to life, doesn't mean only to live as an animal's life. It means life with dignity, which also includes the livelihood. And livelihood here I can associate, I say I can correlate it with the workplaces. Women at workplace, students at their colleges and schools, the other institutions where these are not the higher educational institutes but other institutes, private companies, where this ICC is not, has not been established or is not feasible, not the structure permitted. Now the district officer is bound to take care the interest of those women, working women, if anything happens with them or any instance of harassment has occurred. Now Article 19(1)(g) and Vishakha judgment. In Vishakha, this Bhavari Lal case, Bhavari, this is of state of Rajasthan case, very interesting case, and it's eye-opener case. After this judgment, now we get this 2013 statute. So where workmen or workplaces shall be safe for every individual women, and the statute has been enacted, enforced by the central government. So in this regard, sexual harassment of women at workplace is the violation of fundamental freedom of all women as citizens to pursue the business, trade, profession one's choice, and this is Article 19(1)(g), where Constitution of India has provided that freedom. And any kind of harassment which is particularly, you know, you can say having a negative impact in relation to that business, trade, occupation, employment, whatever, shall be curtailed, shall be taken care under the statute. So this statute of 2013 is a consequence of, or is the result of 1997 decision of Supreme Court in Visakhapatnam state of Rajasthan. So this has been enacted, this has been consented, passed by the parliament, and president has given the consent on 22nd of April 2013, and it came into force on 9th December 2013, and we are in December right now. So this act is applicable throughout the territory of India. And friends, we will give certain ideas what this statute said, or what statute is providing the procedure. Who are the persons who can be considered under this statute and get the, you know, relief from the ICC or from the competent authorities. So for that purpose, I'll take only few definitions, and then we'll move on. What is sexual harassment? Section 2, clause N. Sexual harassment, it includes any one or more of the following unwelcome acts or behavior, whether directly or by implication, namely: 1. Physical contact and advances, a demand or request of sexual favors, making sexual colored remarks, showing pornography, or any other unwelcome physical, verbal, or non-verbal conduct of sexual nature. So, in this way, any kind of act, conduct, gestures, or behavior of the uh, you know, you know our colleague is not acceptable. It can be considered as sexual harassment under Section 2, Clause A. Now, who can file a case? Here, the point here is who can file a complaint? Aggrieved women. And who is aggrieved women? This is Section 2A. It means in relation to workplace, one, a woman who of any age, whether employed or not. It means that in our institution, if any of the student, any of the mother of the student has entered into, she is not the working woman. She is not working at that place. She has accessed this institution for some reason, for some purpose. So, who alleges to have been subjected to any act of the sexual harassment as provided by Section 2N of our statute. Second, in relation to dwelling place or house, I said to you, the maid, the working, those ladies who are working in our houses or in fields or in any factories. So, house, women of any age who is employed in such a dwelling place or house. So it has considered all the women who are working or who are not working, not only the institution but also in the other institutions, other industries and factories and offices and so on. And at the same time, our houses also has been targeted by the statute. So those working people, that working women who are working in our houses, uh, also be the part of this definition, and they can go for the remedies under this statute. So what is the appropriate government? Where we can ask the remedies. In relation to workplace, whatever which is established, own, control, own, substantially financed by, funded by the directly, indirectly by the central government or union territory administration, central government. One, central government. Second is the state government, particularly. Now, which is not covered under Clause A, then the state government. We will come under the administrative setup. So the district officer who is responsible for implementing and taking care of all the interest of these working women. So the district officer, the appropriate government may notify a district magistrate, additional district magistrate, collector, or deputy collector. So DO will be from any of the posts. These are the senior most posts in a district. So, as district officer for every district is to exercise power or discharge functions under this act. So, district officer is a super, officer or the top layer officer in a district. Now, the workplace includes many places. So, workplace, it includes any department, organization, undertaking, establishment, whatever you can think where the women can work. Enterprise, institution, offices, financed by, funded by, provided by directly, indirectly, government, local authority, corporation, cooperative society, etc. One. Second, any private sector organization, NGO, industrial institution, educational institution. Two. Third, hospital, nursing homes. Fourth, any sports institution, stadium, training center, or etc. In this line, whatever kind of. Any place visited by the employee arising out of during or course of employment, including transportation provided by the employer for undertaking such journey. It's also be the working place that's considered. A dwelling place or a house. So all these places which can be considered under workplace definition, and every act of harassment shall be the subject matter of 2015 statute. Prevention of sexual harassment. Now it's interestingly we will start this. No women. This is very clear principle. No women shall be subjected to sexual harassment at any workplace. This is the principal line. This is the principal, funda of this statute. Not only of this statute, but this is of the society as well. No woman shall be subjected to sexual harassment at any aspect, in any aspect or any sphere of the life. But if it has happened or the instances are there, now we have to be very conscious. Subsection 2 of section 3, where the following circumstances which we consider that in relation to connected with behavior or sexual harassment may amount to sexual harassment is: 1, implied, explicit, or preferential treatment in her employment. Implied, explicit threat of detrimental treatment in her employment. सैलरी काट लेंगे, प्रमोशन रोक देंगे, रिजल्ट रोक देंगे, थीसिस नहीं सबमिट होने देंगे, डिसर्टेशन का रिजल्ट नहीं निकलने देंगे. No, these are minutes. These are simple example we can think about. Implied, implicit threat about her present or future employment status. और ऐसा माहौल क्रिएट कर दिया जाए, she will not able to work, or this conducive environment was not available to her, or any kind of humiliating treatment has been done by the other superior authorities or the other fellow mates, into which also resulted or affected her health or safety concerns. Now, when we think about all these aspects, aggrieved women, what workplace means, what about the institution, where all these will be considered, what kind of acts will be considered as sexual harassment cases. Now, where to go? This is the time where we have to establish ICC, Internal Complaints Committee, under section 4 of the statute. And friends, you shall be aware about, and please note it down, that every institution is bound to constitute an internal complaint committee under section 4 of the statute. So every employer of a workplace shall by order in writing constitute a committee to be known as internal complaint committee. And this internal complaint committee is the mandate of every institution to be established. So now who will be the member of this internal complaint committee or ICC? So there are following members. One is the presiding officer. Presiding officer, senior most officer, female women empower. Women, the senior most women employee. Second, if the case senior employee is not available, then any woman senior level we can consider. Presiding officer can nominate by the other office or administrative. Say for in law department there is no senior women, then we can go to the political science department or other department, right? So in case this is the presiding officer, then there shall be minimum 2 amongst the employees preferably committed to cause of women who has the experience of social work or have legal knowledge. So presiding officer, then minimum 2 members. Then third one member from amongst the non-governmental organizations or association committed to the cause of women, or a person familiar with the issues relating to sexual harassment, provided that at least 1/2 of the total members or nominated shall be women, not exceeding for a period of 3 years. Now, it's interesting one where we came to know that there shall be a constitution of ICC. ICC constitute presiding officer, 2 other members, 1 member from the NGO. Other is where the institution is like that, where this is not able to constitute, where this is not required to constitute, with where the employees are not, or the factories or the household employees, or the other institutions, small institutions, private, businesses. Now, there is another authority. This is Local Complaint Committee, LCC, under Section 6 of the statute. So this is the district officer. As we came to know, the district officer shall be the top, office bearer into the district, magistrate, deputy director, deputy commissioner, commissioner level. Or in those cases, the district officer, he shall constitute a district concern where this he is having the power in within the territory of the district. So accordingly, he will constitute a local complaints committee to receive complaints from of sexual harassment from establishments where the ICC has not been formed. So where there's less than 10 workers, there is no need to establish this ICC. So in that case, you can go for the local complaints committee, which has been constituted by the district officer in the district. So every district officer is bound to establish and constitute a local complaint committee under Section 6 of the statute. So the district officer shall designate one nodal officer, block, tehsil, taluka, tribal area, whatever, municipal area, ward level. It is further segregation of powers and according to the jurisdiction of the tehsil, taluka, tribal areas, wards, or so on, municipal areas where we can think about. So these persons, these LCC, they will receive the complaint and forward it to the LCC within a period of 7 days. So need not to go directly to the local complaint committee at district level. You can just look into it at ward level, at your tehsil level. What is the feasibility? Whether it is vicinity within near to you, you can go and file a complaint. And sometimes there are so many issues and concerns. How I can file a complaint? I can't read and write. So it's the duty of the authorities. They will assist you. You need not to bother about that. There are the persons who will assist you to write, to frame, and to file a complaint on behalf of, or they will write for you. So this jurisdiction of LCC within the local limits of the district concern. So when we talk about the LCC, it's comparatively a big body. So where district officer, he shall nominate following members: a chairperson. In case of ICC, there is a presiding officer. Here, in case of LCC, a chairperson who shall be the eminent woman committed towards the work or cause of women. Second, a member from the nominated from the women working in block, taluka, tehsil, means from the district area. Number 3, 2 members from whom at least one shall be women who should be nominated from the certain NGOs for that purpose. And another must be legal, having the legal background or legal knowledge. Now, in that case, further it provides one of the nominees shall be a woman to the scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, or other backward class or minority community. Now, the friends and my students, you must be aware that there must be representation of all categories, all people, right? So in that case, there must be, when nomination we are talking about from the district officer, it shall be clearly means it shall be clearly followed that one of the members shall be from the backward class or minority class or SC or ST. Now they will hold the office not exceeding 3 years. They will continue in the office for 3 years. Complaint of sexual harassment under Section 9 of the statute. Now, within 3 months from the date of incident, and or when there is a continuous incident happens of sexual harassment, then within 3 months it has to be complete, all the process, all the written complaint and so on. So say for today is the 4th of December, the December, January and February, 4th of February, you have time to file a complaint. When the last incident occurred, or today is the last incident or the first incident, then I have a power, or you have a time to file your complaint within 3 months from the last date of incident or the date of incident. And here it has been said that such complaint cannot be made in writing, not feasible. There are the person, there are the women, there are the students, there are the people who are afraid of, or those who are not able to read and write. Now, this presiding officer or any member of ICC or the chairperson of LCC shall render all reasonable assistance to the woman for making a complaint. If not able to write, you can write, she will narrate, and you can write. The officer will write for her. Where the aggrieved woman is unable to make a complaint on account of physical or mental capacity or death or otherwise, her legal lawyers on such person may be prescribed, may make a complaint under this section. So this dignity, this very part of life of women shall be protected even after the death of the individual or death of the lady, that women, because of any reason or because of the same sexual harassment instance. Interestingly, all my friends shall be aware and the students shall be aware about the fact that section 10 is talking about conciliation between the parties. If there was any misunderstanding, was there any mistaken, or some of the gestures or some of the points which the person does not have that meaning, or it has been taken, so primarily it will be go for the conciliation. But for that purpose, you must be aware about that this kind of conciliation, this kind of settlement shall not be the monetary settlement. One of the women has filed a complaint and said, okay, we have conciled and we have we go for conciliation, and okay, let me pay 5 lakh rupees. It's not the conciliation under section 10 of the statute. It shall never ever be the monetary settlement. Now it can be considered a frivolous complaint as was filed. So when there was a settlement, when there was a conciliation between the parties, it shall be recorded and forwarded to the concerned authorities. In case of ICC, the higher authorities. In case of LCC, then the district officer. So the copy of the same shall be given and shall be no further inquiry. When the conciliation has occurred, completed, settlement done, no further inquiry is required. Now under section 11, inquiry, if there is no possibility of conciliation, right, that has been exhausted. Now ICC and LCC, they will proceed for making an inquiry, whatever the complaint has been received. And the aggrieved women inform in between that the term or condition of settlement was not good, or the settlement under section 10 or the conciliation was not the good, or not in favor, not or it even it was, and it was not complied with by the respondent. Okay, it has been settled down, conciliation takes place, and thereafter it has not been complied, and the respondent said, okay, बिगाड़ लो क्या बिगाड़ना है, मैं नहीं देता कुछ भी, और ना मैं ख्याल ना मैं परवाह करता इन बातों. So in that case, ICC and LCC shall proceed, make an inquiry in the complaint. So they will ignore, they will they'll do the side that conciliation or settlement between the parties. In that case, we can think about the cases and instances where the parties enter into conciliation and settlement, and finally it was found that the male member has not complied with, not followed by the rules and regulations not taking care of all those term and conditions of that settlement. So in those cases, which particularly is required to be mentioned here, and that you must be aware about this ICC and LCC, Internal Complaints Committee, as well as Local Complaints Committee, is having the power of a civil court. वो समन इशू कर सकते हैं ICC and LCC to make a person to appear before the committee in person, or he can these committees can examine him on oath. And in case if the certain documents are required, these committees can also and having the power to ask to deposit or produce those documents, or any other matter, whatever deemed fit, whatever prescribed. This LCC and ICC having the court's power, civil court's power. So within 90 days, the ICC and LCC has to complete the process of inquiry. Now, in case of inquiry has been made, and or inquiry is commenced, and before the 90 days, if the aggrieved party, aggrieved women, thinks no, it's not going good. Now the inquiry, during the pendency of this inquiry, ICC, LCC has also certain other powers to give some relief to the aggrieved women. Now, one, what can be done? Transfer the aggrieved women to the respondent to any other workplace, grant leave, and they grant leave to the aggrieved women local period of 3 months. So in that case, leave granted aggrieved women under this section shall be addition to the leave she would be otherwise entitled. So in that case, the certain powers are available with the ICC. So when inquiry report has been submitted by the ICC and LCC, then it must be go to the higher authorities within 10 days from the date of completion of inquiry. And if it has not been proved, whatever allegations or complaints has been made, then the committee can say, okay, no action is required to be taken against the culprit, which was part of the complaint. Now, in those cases, particularly which in where malicious complaint and false evidences has been given, so it doesn't mean that whenever you want to make a false complaint or file a sexual harassment case and you will be spared. No, you have the responsibilities. If you are providing false evidences, or at any point of time you have distorted with the facts and the documents, then there shall be you will lose your case. Now, in those cases, which we should be very clear that in case where the false cases has been implicated, no action will be taken. The ICC and LCC can go for or recommend that. Where the false evidences has been given, produced by a misleading document, even though the case has been destroyed, and the committee can also recommend it that there is no action required to be taken under the statute. Now, this is compensation. It depends on certain factors: mental trauma, pain, suffering, emotions, career opportunities, physical or psychiatric treatment, medical treatment, particularly income and financial status of the respondent, or the feasibility of such payment in lump sum. All these shall be taken care while thinking about the compensation. Appeal can be made in those cases where recommended has been ICC, LCC has been recommended, and there is if it has not been complied with, then appeal can be made into the court. And my friends, I want to convey you a clear message that the cases under this statute or sexual harassment cases where non-cognizable means the police officer don't have any right to take cognizance, arrest or FIR until unless complaint has been made. It is the tribunal or the court, competent court, even they don't, if those facts or those cases or complaints falls under this statute of 2015, the court cannot take cognizance of that as well. They will redirect it to the authorities, ICC or LCC. Or when the appeal has been made, then within the 90 days time frame, it has to be recommended, it has to be completed. There are certain duties of the employer. These are the obvious duties of the employer, but are not fulfilled, then they can be made bound. They can made bound to complete it or to uh, uh, implement. Safe working environment, conspicuous place, working place, all those guidelines, penal consequences of sexual harassment cases, workshop, awareness program we have to think about, or employer has to uh, create or constitute ICC, LCC, and inquiry has to, if there is any, they have to take they have to facilitate all those inquiries. And in those cases, particularly when we think about where the complaint has been made, then every information whatever with the employer, they shall furnish it. And the employer also assists the woman if she is not able to file a complaint under the statute or under the Indian Penal Code, cause to initiate action against the perpetrator, and treat sexual harassment as misconduct under the service rules. So the district officer, he is monitoring time. So he has to submit reports accordingly. And if these are the points which we have discussed, where section 27 particularly, 26 particularly, if in case of non-compliance, the employer shall be punishable with the fine which may extend to 50,000 rupees. So in those cases which we can think about, these are the non-cognizable and cognizance of offenses by the court. So I'll take 5 more minutes. University Grant Commission. This is important for us since yeah, as a student of higher education. University Grant Commission Prevention, Prohibition, Redressal, Sexual Harassment of Women Employees, Students, Higher Educational Institutions Regulations. So under this regulation of 2015 of UGC, every institution is responsible to constitute an ICC, and I found that Lucknow University is well versed and well structured information, and everything has been given on the website. So UGC is making is binding the higher educational institution to constitute internal complaint committee. It consists the presiding officer, who is a woman, a senior faculty member, 2 faculty members, 2 non-teaching members, 3 students, and 1 external. So in higher educational institutions, presiding officer, women, senior faculty member, 2 faculty member, 2 non-teaching. So representation from all the spheres. So maximum 50% shall be the women in that case. So in those particularly where we are talking about higher institutions, it needs to take measure to curb the sexual harassment in all forms. So harassment from those dominant power, teacher, student, principal, teachers, office staff, and any hierarchical nature, whatever we can think about. Sexual harassment from the peers, classmates, senior students, junior students, so on. Sexual harassment from elements outside the geographical limits of the college premises, from outside the gate of the university campus or college campus or the school campus. You can find some people, nonsense people, waiting for the recess or the leave or the no. In case college educational institutions must treat sexual harassment as misconduct in their service rule. College or higher educational institution must possess guidelines, ethics for research supervision. Third one, college must do a half yearly review of efficacy and implementation of their anti sexual harassment policy. Now, it is very interesting and important one for the purpose to understand, यदि यूजीसी की ये पॉलिसी और ये रेगुलेशन इंप्लीमेंट नहीं की यूनिवर्सिटीज ने और हायर एजुकेशनल इंस्टीट्यूशंस ने, तो क्या हो सकता है? It can be withdrawn. What? Any grant can be withdrawn which has been given by UGC. Remove the name of the university or college from the list which has been maintained by UGC. UGC can withhold the grants that have been granted to the institution. Institution can declare ineligible for consideration of any assistant under general or special assistant program. University, a UGC shall publicize the newspaper on its official website that college institution does not provide zero tolerance policy. And further, UGC shall also recommend that affiliating university to withdraw the affiliation. Very serious consequences. Recommend the appropriate state government to withdraw the status of the university. So these are the link of UGC rules which are provided. University website, if you want to go there, there is an internal complaint committee policy and guidelines are available. This is website link. This is 2019 UGC document where it has been said that ICC shall be constituted at every higher educational institutions. This is the last one. Department of Women and Child Development, Government of UP. You can go there. Mission Shakti, where we are talking about under the this UP Rani Lakshmi Bai Mahila Evam Bal Samman Post. There are so many policies and programs under this. So if you have any query, any question, please let me know. With these words, thanks a lot to the organizer. Thanks a lot to the participants. Thanks a lot to the my friends and colleague, Dr. Varun Chachar, to ma'am, who is the convener of Mission Shakti program of Government of UP, and to the institution Lucknow of Lucknow University of Lucknow, one of the prominent institutes having 100 years of the history. Thank you one and all. Thank you all the participants. Your question, please.
Thank you, Dr. Saab, for such a qualitative discourse. Now we have a question from one student, Jyotsna.
Yes. Yes.
If a woman does not have any financial support or any other kind of support within the vicinity from the husband, in-laws, and sometimes if the mica is also very weak, they are not in position. Only father is left, mother has died, or mother is left, father has died. No brother,
Yes.
nothing at all. No support from the maternal side, nothing at all. Then what should she do in such circumstances?
Now, primarily because when we talks about this 2015 statute, it said that district officer who is nominate further at the taluka level, tehsil level, if the municipality, then the ward level. At every level there are the LCC representative, local complaints committee representative. Secondly, in any case, if there is no assistance, that doesn't mean in particularly these sphere, these areas, you can get assistance from anyone who is near to you, or your mobile phone is the best method. If the mobile phone even is not available, then you can ask the person whosoever is coming to your home, or whom so you are meeting to. So you can think once and just brief her or him who is near to you, and you can ask that you can go to that office or that place, or any place, whatever is feasible and possible. You should file a complaint for that.
Right. Thank you so much,
There are
Dr. Saab.
there are the contact numbers as well, where the state government, police department, 100 on, so number per call karna, 1921 there are other numbers as well where you can contact.
Thank you so much, Doctor.
Thank you so much, Doctor. Thank you so much
for solving the queries.
solving the queries.
Now I think
I think
मैम आपका माइक ऑफ होगा
मैम आपका माइक ऑफ होगा तब आवाज
मधुमा मैम
मैम
हम्बल रिक्वेस्ट
सर हमसे कह रहे हैं बिकॉज
हाँ,
आपकी
जी, जी,
आवाज
जी,
कट
जी।
रही
हाँ
है।
जी
जी सर हम ये कहना चाह रहे हैं
जी
सर इसकी रिकॉर्डिंग हमको इस यूनिवर्सिटी के जितने बच्चे हैं
जी
तो हम लोग सर जो मिशन शक्ति का जो वो यूट्यूब है उसमें प्लस यूनिवर्सिटी
जी।
वाले में प्लस वी विल बी अनाउंसिंग कि भाई ये वाला सेक्शन सुन ले जैसे और भी चीजें सवेरे की तो दिस मस्ट गो टू ईच एंड एवरी गर्ल स्टूडेंट
एब्सोल्युटली मैम इट इज
because it is very important for them to have all these things and of course the resource person के डिटेल्स भी होंगे उसमें वो भी पढ़ जाएंगे अगर किसी को बाई चांस कुछ कांटेक्ट करना उसके फर्दर पूछना है तो कम से कम बाकी बच्चे भी सर इससे जो है उनको फायदा हो तो सर इसकी रिकॉर्डिंग प्लीज हमको शेयर कर दीजिएगा सो वी विल पुट इट ऑन द social media so that everybody could listen and everybody could be benefited for that and thank you so much for the so illuminating information. It was really helpful.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for this.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your kind words. And I think now it is time for me to, it is, I don't want to say goodbye because he's a good friend and ultimately after a long time. But yes, we'll have to say. But I must say that what he has deliberated upon is a very, very important kind of a and statutory intent because in today's life, in today's life, when women's safety becomes a very important kind of an issue, and when the rights are not known to the people and especially women are not aware of what rights they have when they see some kind of gestures, when they see some kind of nonsense behavior, then everything is stipulated within law. Dr. Premchand qualitatively, fantastically, he has summarized the statutory intent of this sexual harassment of women at workplace. I think we are very, very privileged and honored today that we have such a distinguished guest who have honored us with all these deliberations and all these informations. Thank you so much, sir. I think I am thankful. I am thankful from the bottom of my heart to our Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, for giving us this opportunity wherein we deliberate upon such important intellectual endeavors. I must also thank our convener, an energetic convener, again, I must say, Professor Madhurima Lal, ma'am, that she is the one who is a major force behind all such endeavors and deliberations. I must thank my co-host, ma'am, Shelly, ma'am. She's the only one because otherwise I may not be able to. Nari Shakti is most important. Whatever we are, it is all because of the Nari Shakti. I must say this and I must recognize this and I must support this, and that is what is our endeavor for the Mission Shakti. I must say that our Honorable Chief Minister has done a yeoman task and has done a fantastic job introducing such a qualitative, knowledgeable and discourse of Women's Shakti. Thank you so much. The whole of the University of Lucknow and the state of Uttar Pradesh for organizing such a qualitative initiative for women's safety, dignity and health. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Premchand. We will definitely call you again. It will be a pleasure again. And we will constantly call you. हम आपको परेशान करते रहेंगे और आपको बुलाते रहेंगे. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you sir. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you so much.